Metro Police are taking the initiative to stop the spread of these illegal and deadly drugs. An undercover sergeant that I spoke with today says people in Nashville are dying every day because of this. An undercover Metro Police sergeant tells Fox 17 News that he is seeing significant amounts of fentanyl flooding Nashville's streets. He says it's drug dealers who are claiming to sell cocaine or prescription pills, when in reality, these drugs contain mostly fentanyl.
Unscrupulous drug dealers who are solely interested in making a dollar off of the lives of innocent people who are dying every day in our city.
And these drugs are being sold in public, even during the day.
Businesses that we spoke with this week told us that they're seeing these drugs being sold openly on the streets. Why is this happening, and what are detectives like yourself doing to stop this?
In the past several months, as well as in the months to follow, if not years to follow, we've conducted operations in the downtown corridor and across the city as a whole to combat the sale of fentanyl to individuals in our city.
The police sergeant says they could use more resources and personnel, but he says they are working a lot of overtime to stay on top of this to prevent the spread.
We just want the dealers out there who are selling this poison on our street and killing our people, that we are out there and we are constantly watching.
He adds while their tactics and procedures are confidential, they've shifted their focus to the large-scale distribution of drugs that could impact thousands of people.
He said, I don't think there's any of us who are not experiencing this squeeze right now. These goods and services are going up, but wages aren't rising to match it. The report says wages have only gone up about 3% on average. So I spoke with a financial expert to learn things you can be doing right now to ease that burden on your family. Charred walls and a missing ceiling is all that remains of Abigail West's former home. Her family's rental house caught fire in late February, claiming most of their belongings and their beloved family dog.
And I ran and took the baby out, and I called 911 right then as I got out.
The competitive housing market has made it difficult for Abigail's family to find a new place. She keeps what's left of her belongings in a small shed and is staying with family until they can move.
It's been a rough 5 months or so.
Abigail is one of thousands of Nashvillians feeling the impact of today's economy. A new study finds the average Nashvillian is 10 to 20% worse off now than they were this time last year. And at least half of Nashville's population is living in wage poverty, meaning they don't earn enough to cover basic household needs.
Paycheck to paycheck is not a fun place to be in.
Andrew Winnett is the owner of Legacy Builders Wealth Management in Brentwood. He says many families are burning through savings and racking up debt to get by.
And people are having to pay groceries and gas and put that on the credit card just to make ends meet, which is really unfortunate.
Winnett says if you're stretched financially, the first thing to do is take a hard look at your budget and find ways to cut back.
Maybe it's Netflix or Hulu. Maybe it's the gym membership that you haven't gone to in the last 90 days.
Winnett says it's about baby steps, saving in small increments or paying off debt just a bit at a time.
It takes a lot of discipline. You've got to make a commitment.
A commitment more Nashvillians will need to take this year as the economy continues its squeeze.
That's right, but Metro police officers say they're being told not to enforce the law on Metro or state property unless it is absolutely necessary. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen now live downtown at Legislative Plaza with details on this new law and how it is likely to be enforced.
Yes, in just a few hours, this law will take effect. And while there have been questions about how this law will impact those living here in Nashville, for the first time, we're finding out about a plan.
Brookmead Park, Wharf Park, and South Nashville. Those are some of the largest homeless communities in Music City. Starting Friday, a law makes staying at those places a felony. A spokesperson for Metro Police tells me they're going to try their best to not arrest these folks with officers using their discretion. But supporters of this law say this will hold Metro leaders accountable for a problem they feel is only getting worse.
I think that we, as a city, have better solutions than charging people with a felony and putting them in jail.
In a coordinated plan between city and state leaders, if someone is identified on Metro property, those at Metro's Homeless Impact Division will be told they have 30 to 45 days to find a living alternative if it comes down to that. A living alternative could be a place to live, a treatment facility, or living with a family member.
Knowing that we have some time to figure out, okay, this camp is going to close for whatever reason, and whoever decided it had to close, at least now we have a little bit of lead time to try to figure out, okay, where can people safely go after that?
But Paula Foster with Open Table Nashville says that amount of time isn't enough time to get housing for someone.
I'm really hoping that the city is going to come up with some transitional housing plans or transitional camping options.
Will Banks also feels we need a short-term solution.
We've got to make sure that people are successful and don't end up homeless again.
The Davidson County District Attorney has said in the past he will not prosecute those living in poverty.